Commissioner, you made the point this week that London's homicide rates are down and low by comparison with other big cities. Are you sure that this doesn't just reflect the fact that the trauma teams are just better at saving victims?
Definitely not. Knife crime is falling at the moment. Knife injury assaults are down over the last 10 years. They're lower than they were before COVID. There's obviously a dip during COVID when there's nobody on the streets, but knife injury assaults are going down. That's not just my data. There's fewer people going into casualty with knife injuries. So it is actually falling. The point about a homicide rate per capita in London is lower than it's ever been.
Yeah,
that's an extraordinary fact. If you look at cities like Paris or Milan or Toronto, they're about half as much again in terms of their homicide rate.
When you were appointed, you promised to clean up your force. You said there are a lot of people who were in uniforms that shouldn't be there. Now, we discovered this week that the drive to increase numbers has apparently let criminals
that was the report I commissioned and I did it. That's the result of the work I've done. So don't try and present it as a surprise to me.
Exactly. Now, you said that there may be 1,200 people working for you who shouldn't be there. We've seen people 1,200 who've committed crimes since they were appointed. What are you going to do to close that gap and get rid of those people?
So that wasn't quite what we said. What we said was the risk created in taking thousands and thousands of people during that period and under pressure, the Met and other forces made decisions they'd probably look back on and regret in terms of the pressure was you won't get the money if you don't keep recruiting, and that led to some people pushing the boundaries on referencing a vetting system.
The Home Secretary said that she is planning to get rid of police commissioners and restore her own power to dismiss chief constables, presumably including you. Do you support that proposal?
So there is already a power for politicians to dismiss police chiefs. I think it's important it's done on an evidence-based way. It shouldn't just be done on a political whim of a moment.
I understand that there's going to be proposals for reform of the system, maybe reducing the number of police forces. What's your view about that?
We are overdue big police reforms. The current policing model is a tweaked and bastardised version of what was designed in a 1962 Royal Commission. It is so out of date for the challenges today. A unique thing about where we are today, police leaders across the system, we're all of a common mindset that the system needs to change quite dramatically. So you might say we're prepared to be the turkeys who vote for Christmas in terms of fewer police forces, fewer national bodies, a rationalising of this. And there's several reasons for this. People will immediately say this is going to damage local policing. Quite the opposite. If you've got a overly bureaucratic, complicated, convoluted, sort of spaghetti system, all of that complexity sucks resources away from the locals. If we sort out all the national arrangements, our ability to counter national and international threats improves. Policing is not at the front of the queue at the moment in terms of money from successive governments, given international threats and everything else and the continual investment in the NHS. We're never going to get the money that we would ideally need. The way we can succeed for the public is going to come through big investment in technology and technology-led reform. All of that is much easier to do on a better structure than this 43 forces plus a whole scattering of odd national bodies.
That would be pretty dramatic root and branch reform.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm arguing for. And it's difficult. It won't be a straightforward path, but it is overdue.